Good morning, welcome to Sunday Morning Live. My guests don't need anyone to stand up for them. They've made their names doing that for themselves. Well, we'd like to know what you think this morning. Call in now to challenge our guests on Skype or give your views on Twitter. Now, we've all had some fun giving the bankers a bad name for the financial crisis, but we're the ones left with the mess. Average household incomes are down 6%. For the seriously wealthy, it looks like business as usual. But some of the super rich have come out and said they are not paying their fair share. Is it time our politicians listen to them? Peter, it's an offer that's on the table. Should we take it up? For our text vote this morning, do the rich have a moral duty to pay more tax? If you think they do, text the word vote followed by yes. If you disagree, text vote followed by no. Our text number is 81771. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. For full terms and conditions, visit bbc.co.uk/Sunday Morning Live. And we'll show you how you voted at the end of the programme. Reverend George Hargreaves, you made what some might think was a fabulous amount of wealth out of your pop career, but then we have a moral duty not to tax that money that the rich
and the actual wealth. Look, before we can talk about how much they should be taxed, let's talk about the wealth. The richest 10% of the British population
but Peter, I just want to say that you've mentioned the richest 10%. They also pay more than 50% of...
incentive away, you drive money away, and we'll be the poorer for it.
Let's talk to a couple of experts on this. Chris Skinner is from the Financial Services Club. Good morning to you, Chris. So we have heard that there are very rich people putting their voices to this campaign. I think it's called the Tax Me Harder campaign. They include Warren Buffett in the States, the head of Ferrari in Italy, France's richest woman, all arguing they should pay more tax. Should they?
Well, it should really be a therefore choice as to whether someone gives more. And as you mentioned, a moral choice for those who want.
The more they actually pay.
Because they don't spend time.
So if we lower the tax rate on the rich, do they then feel less forced to give it up and more cooperative about it?
It's because it's so complex. And
let's speak to Lord Digby Jones, former head of the CBI, who joins us this morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, very good morning. I'm sure you've been listening to what has been said so far. Yep. Do you have a moral duty to pay more?
Yeah, three observations while I was listening to a very interview. No, it isn't. And so I sit here, I'm not a wealthy man, clearly there's a tapering, so it doesn't happen overnight. You know what they'll do with that money? They'll spend it. When you spend money in a society, you create no trust. Politicians and civil servants to spend my money wisely. I just don't. And so somebody hypothecated...
Nicola Smith, who's head of economics at the Trades Union Congress, presumably you'd have no issue with that proposal, would you?
I believe that...
One moment, because we're going to come back to you. But, George, what is the evidence?
The evidence...
The text we've had says perhaps we should introduce a system where the rich have a choice to pay a higher tax level. And OK, Neil, George, I'm hearing you saying yes to everything Neil's saying.
Absolutely.
His shoulders, say some, in order to help those people out.
No. We educate people for free.
You'll have to let me interrupt you there, because I need to let Badisha say her final word before we end this part of the debate.
I think that what's difference there is between the lives of the very rich and the housing, health, child...
Let's just say the last biblical thing. To those who have given much...
Is our text poll question today, do the rich have a moral duty to pay more tax? If you think they do, text the word vote followed by yes. If you disagree, text vote followed by no. Our text number is 81771. Text will be charged at your standard message rate, and you have around 20 minutes before the poll closes. Badisha, does he have a point?
I do not agree that Christians are persecuted in this country.
To that councillor, Gary McFarlane, who was sacked from his job at Relate for refusing to counsel gay people. We're going to talk to him a little bit later on the programme. But this is the balance, isn't it, George, between the rights of gay people to be recognised, to be counselled.
Move with the times.
George, let's speak to a Christian minister who joins us now. Reverend Debbie Gaston joins us from Brighton. Reverend Debbie Gaston, you are gay and you are Christian.
That's right.
How do you accommodate those things? And do you feel in any way persecuted, as George suggests? Do we have Rabbi Laura Jana with us? Because I wonder if, when you make that comparison, that is something that the Jewish community feels offended by. Rabbi Laura.
This is a different planet
I absolutely regret.
Let you have a right to reply in a moment, George, but Peter.
With respect, Andrew, employed to do a job, she should do a job. And
Just a final point, that the monarch has to be Christian, is crowned by a Christian. Christianity dominates public life. There are archbishops... Continue that.
No,
we are very out of time. I'm terribly sorry, and I've been told off already for intervening.
Slippery slope.
But I do have to tell you that coming up on Sunday Morning Live, we are said to be a nation of animal lovers, but when wild animals get in the way of farmers' profits, they are regularly killed. Colours claim it also stops animals starving to death if they run out of food. Are we being cruel to be kind? What do you think? Time now to chew over some of the other key moral moments of the week. Peter, the killing of the owls. You're considering adopting a child, are you?
At some point.
Sexualised, that's such a... particularly the young, the whole sexual scene.
Let us know what you think. Meanwhile, you've been voting in our text poll this morning. Do the rich have a moral duty to pay more tax, is the question we've been asking throughout the programme. But the poll is closing now, so please don't text, as your vote won't count, but you could still be charged, and we'll bring you the result at the end of the programme. Now, imagine seeing a wild stag at dawn or a badger in your own backyard. For most of us, an unexpected encounter with a wild animal is a magical moment. But this year, the government plans to slaughter them in record numbers. Are those plans for a big cull a bad call? Just a warning. And you can join in by webcam. You can make your point by phone, text, email or online. And John Carmody joins. We speak to a farmer. I just want to get your views, Badisha. Do you eat meat? Right, let's speak to a farmer then. Jan Rowe is a farmer. Your cows have suffered from TB. We're talking about culling badgers in order to stop that happening. Will it work?
Yes, I think a highly... We're not talking about a widespread cull of badgers.
Which culling is a humane thing to do, is that right?
Well, let me see right from the start.
Taylor, who is from the Countryside Alliance. David, have we brought this upon ourselves?
Yes, because if we don't, and we have a duty of care to, but if we don't, they will starve to death.
I'm terribly sorry.
But people can learn more by some more.
All right, I'm terribly sorry. We do have to end it there. We are completely out of time. Well, that's interesting. And if you agree with Peter or disagree with him, you can, of course, take up that issue on our website, as you can with any of the debates that you've heard this morning. I'd like to say thank you very much to all of my guests this morning, Peter Tatchell as well. Don't text or call the phone lines anymore. They're closed. Continue the conversation online, and we will see you next Sunday. Goodbye.